I'm still mad at my, those characters, NPCs of the game, bro. They really, like, got mad at my character. I'm just like, I'm trying to save your life. The dungeons are literally invading us. I'm trying to save your fucking life, bro. Like, holy shit. Oh my gosh, that black girl got me pissed off so badly. I'm just like, okay, girl, bye. Like, come on now. Girl, bye.
Super Idol de Charo, donate me to 10 by each worthy.
Alright, well, I don't really play indie games like that. Like, I mean, I play, like, well, maybe I did in the past, like, on the 360, but, like, adult years, no, not really. We be sticking to the, what we know, but I was like, you know what? I've been playing a lot of hardcore games, I'm talking about, like, 2024, right? And honestly, recently, like the past couple of years, you got Elden Ring, and I was playing Black Myth Wukong this year. Then I was playing Dragon's Dogma, like all of these, high fighting games, very, very intense games. I'm just like, I kind of want to relax. I want to fight things, but like I kind of want to relax and chill. And Dungeons of Hinterberg is honestly, yeah, that's the game to do that in. If you want to fight, but then also like chill. It's kind of the point of the game, right? You just fight and then you chill, right? That's the point of the game. So I'm gonna do a review on that game. I played it, and let's just say, oh, we got some things to say. It's not a bad game, especially for a Hindi game. Indie game. I said Hindi. I think there's like 30-40 people that worked on it. It's an Austrian game too, so I think it's one of their first games, maybe. I think, yeah, but yeah, it's a small team that worked on it. So it's really I enjoyed it. Okay, yeah, I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it or anything. I pretty much enjoyed it. So let's get into it. My first impressions of the game. That shit made me sick as hell. I'm sorry, bro. I was actually surprised. So I have motion sickness, but like not really. It only happens if I'm on my phone in a car for like, and I'm playing like a game. Like I can be scrolling Twitter, or something, but like if I'm playing a game and I'm just like locked in and I'm in a car, it acts up. But honestly, it don't really be happening. And so I'm just like, it's just in the back of my head, and I seen all these like reviews and stuff and people complain about motion sickness. I'm just like, y'all some pussies, right? Yeah, y'all getting motion sickness from a game? Really? Really? And then I played the game, and then like 30 minutes in I get motion sickness. So I guess second dungeon, I guess. Buddy, I was like, I was like, okay, my head kind of be hurting, but that's sometimes be happening when I'm like on my computer, or like, playing games on my Xbox, it just goes away. No, it stayed, and it got worse. So it really, I think it really ramped up when I did the little minecart thing. I don't know if I have a clip of that, but like the minecarts in that game, in like the first area and all those dungeons, they're really fucking fast, way too goddamn fast. That's really like, I think that was the main trigger for my motion sickness. It was already acting up with like everything else, but yeah. So yeah, I stopped playing the game because of that, actually. And 2 weeks later, like a couple weeks later, I'm just like, you know what, let me try and get back into the game. Because I was looking up like, other people having motion sickness and like other reviews and stuff. I'm just like, let me like change to FOV. Let me give it one more chance. That's rare. Once I stop playing the game, it's hard for me to get back in. But I changed to FOV. Boom, got in that bitch. So that was pretty good. I mean, I still had motion sickness during like a lot of moments, but it wasn't really as bad. And it pretty much like stopped happening towards, the middle to the end of the game. So, I mean, it was still there, but like in certain moments where I knew like something was going to happen in like the dungeon, or like some like, a very fast moment, something that'll cause it, right? I just kind of looked away, or just be looking at my phone or something. So yeah, that's like one way to combat it, right? So sometimes I couldn't escape it because I just had to like look at the screen. So yeah. Anyways, so that's it. Yeah, guys, I got notes on this review now. We kind of professional, right? It's not gonna be as long as like a Dragon Age review. That shit was like 2 hours, right? This is gonna be a bit shorter. Also, another first impression, people were like, this is a Souls light game, or like a Souls like game, whatever the hell they said. Newsflash, buddy, just because you can dodge roll does not make it a Souls like game. I'm sorry, I don't know what review. There was like a couple reviews. They're like, yeah, it's Souls like. No, Just because you can dodge and roll, no, buddy. Okay, so anyways, but yeah. And you know, I was expecting like a chill, small RPG game. That's pretty much what I got. Like, I mean, this is really what I got. This is kind of what I expected. So, all right. So let's get into some other things about the game. Let's just get into the graphics. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's cartoony. Do I hate it? No. I mean, it's like it's expected. I mean, I'm just like, okay, you know, it's a small game. They're gonna be like this. I mean, it's not even bad though. Like people want super realistic shit from like their AAA games and stuff, or just like games in general. They don't gotta be like that. I even like I kind of, you know, I don't hate it. I don't really hate it at all for games, you know. Uh, but some people just like the realistic shit. Me, I don't really care. But I think it kind of did add on to the motion sickness, kind of a little bit, like made it a little bit worse, maybe with the outlines and stuff. But yeah, maybe, possibly. But anyway, so that's that. All right, let's get into combat. Pretty simple. I mean, light attack, heavy attack, dodge, magic spells. That's it. That's all. I mean, that's you know, that's all you need in a game. It's very, very simple, right? If you played many RPGs and stuff, it's very simple, right? Magic spells are also different for like different areas, but they correlate with the environment, so it's not like, yeah, it's nothing crazy. Also, there's like attack conduits, which are basically like second permanent spells, like the ones that correlate with the environments. They're like with certain areas, like certain dungeons, but the attack conduits you can use anywhere, like they're just like permanent, right? I think you can also like get buffs on them too. Like there's charms that kind of enhance them. There's charms that enhance pretty much everything, like your attack. I forgot to put this in my notes for the review, but yeah, there is charms that like enhance your armor, your attack, but also attack conduits too, I think. So yeah. All right, but anyways, yeah, combat pretty simple, especially for like an indie game, small game like this. So there you go. Dungeons and puzzles. Okay, so basically there is 26 dungeons in the game, and you're required to finish all of them. That's not a bad thing though, because it's kind of part of the lore, right? At first I was thinking, some people were like, yeah, I finished the game in 15 hours. I'm like, oh, okay. So he just did the dungeons the entire time, or did he skip some? I was thinking he skipped some, just like, okay, so I can probably skip some dungeons and like do like the main dungeons, but like no. So you're required to do them due to plot. It's not a bad thing though. Anyways, the puzzles in the game are actually like pretty fun. Like they most of the time, or I would say 90% of the time, they require you to use like your magic spells and stuff, or like just the things, like, because then there's one area you're like going on like a freaking snowboard, right, or like hoverboard type of thing. That's pretty fucking cool, and you use that for like puzzles and stuff too. That's the thing that's the one of the main things that gives me motion sickness though, that little hoverboard thing. I liked it though, but I just couldn't look at it too much. But it wasn't so bad as the minecart, right? Where the minecart, I can't, buddy. It's too fast, too fast. So yeah, devs, if you're looking at this, slow down the minecart. Slow down like a little, just not even a little bit, maybe like by half, right? It's just too damn fast. But anyways, yeah. They also show you, like, it's not really too handholdy. They show you like how the spells and stuff work, like at the skill shrine thing, and that's pretty much it. Right, maybe the first dungeon they kind of like do a little highlight or something, but that's pretty much it. They don't really handhold you as much as like Veilguard, right? They tell you every time in Veilguard, hey, it's right over here, or they like freaking highlight it in gold, or you know, all the sparkles and stuff, right? But it's nothing crazy here, and the dungeons aren't like, you know, I got stuck on a few, like a couple, not too many though, but I mean, it'd only be like for 10 minutes or so, and I'm just gotta like think about what I gotta do. Like, what can I do with this little blob spell, right? Or this big cube, or like, you know, just the laser thing, like, yeah, so just stuff like that. But it's really nothing complicated, and it's actually it's a little satisfying, you know. It's not too easy. It is not too easy. I liked it. Let's see. Oh, and some of the stuff in the dungeons, you know, I guess since we're still talking about dungeons, yeah, some of the dungeons cost like like they changed the camera multiple times, and it was kind of pretty cool and innovative. But because they changed the camera multiple times and they're just like weird angles of where your character is moving, that caused motion sickness too for me, like a little bit. So I mean, it wasn't crazy, like I had to turn off the game and like just stop playing like the first time I played the game. But you know, I was just like moving back, like I had to like bring my chair all the way back to like my green screen right back there, and just like, you know, because I had to play through it, you know. I can't just not look at it, you know, like the hoverboard thing where I can just not look at it. So yeah, but I mean, other than that, like it's nothing crazy, nothing crazy. It didn't happen too often, right? So let's do gears and customization. So all the weapons, they're all the same thing. It's all Louisa's sword. That's the name of the main character, Louisa, I think. My dad's name is Louis. But yeah, I mean the swords, they're all just swords, and then like nothing really changes with them throughout the game. I mean, it just like, yeah, really nothing changes, honestly. Like it just damage increase, and that's it. That's pretty much it. And there's also like with the armor, there really isn't variety with the armor at all. I mean, it just changes like the little patterns on the armor maybe, but like it's nothing crazy, right? Just different patterns. Character overall looks the same. I mean, there's no like facial customization or anything. You're playing as like a pre-built character, right? You can also buy like outfits and stuff to customize them, but you need to buy the outfits with tokens from dungeons. And you also gotta buy it with like regular money too. So yeah, but I mean this is just what I'm explaining. I don't particularly like hate it. Like I do like the outfit function, since like the overall armor just doesn't change at all, to be honest. So yeah, that's pretty cool. You can also enchant weapons and armor too with more perks, you know. So just not just increasing defense or damage or stuff. You can do like critical, or you know your classic RPG shit, right? And attack conduits, I think I said this before, they can be upgraded too, I think. Yeah, they can be upgraded too. Everything can be like upgraded and enchanted in some way, right? But anyways, you also upgrade armor like 3 times, I think, at most. Some armor you can only do it like 2 times or like no times, you know, just it depends on the rarity of the armor. Yeah. So now we get to the friends, right? Friendship is kind of magic in this game, but not as much as Belgard, right? Because this game is kind of, you already know like it's gonna be like some chill type of vibes, right? And the whole point of the game is like, you know, you on vacay, right? So yeah, part of the game is like you just hanging with your friends, right? Hanging with the homies and yapping because you on vacay. And when you yap with them enough, they give you perks like every couple of you know, yaps essentially, like health increase or discounts. It depends on the person, right? You're also encouraged to relax and like rest a lot to increase your stats, you know. So here's how the game works, right? It's different from most games and unique in that sense too. It also correlates with the story too, right? So game works in days. You're forced to abide by, not in a bad way though. So like in the morning you do a dungeon, or you relax in the 4 like little areas that you have to go to in the game, right? That has all the dungeons and stuff. Afternoon and evening, you basically either yap with the homies, or you go to the spa, or like the spa or the movie theater or something. And then at nighttime you just go home, and you either go to sleep for the next day, or you can like watch TV or like read a magazine or something crazy like that if you want to. But if you do that, here's the thing. Your health goes down if you like watch TV or something, right? Because it's like an activity. You're gonna be tired the next day. Oh, you know, you're getting so tired. So your health gets decreased by like 30-40%, maybe like half, I think. I don't know, but it gets decreased by a good amount. So by the next day, you could either like still play, like go to a dungeon with that amount and like thug it out. That's kind of what I did like most of the time. Or you can like relax, quote unquote relax, in one of the areas. It's highly encouraged that you relax. It's kind of like part of the lore, part of the game. But once you do that, you're pretty much at full health again, right? And you're good, you know. And then that pretty much takes up all your morning, and then like for the afternoon, evening, you can still do the same thing, like yap with the homies or just like hang out by yourself. And then it's nighttime again, and you go to bed, and it just, yeah. So it's like a cycle, repeat, 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 you know. So it really depends. Oh, and in order to like enter new areas in the games and stuff, so the stats are really important. So like if you don't have enough renown, I know you can't like go to this one dungeon that you have to complete because to complete it up, dungeons is part of the story. Da 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 da. So yeah, just stuff like that. Or you need some sort of like, you need like familiarity, or you need like amusement for like just certain quests and stuff. Yeah, so that's it correlates with the story. It's nothing too crazy though, right? But renown is definitely like the hardest thing to like accumulate because ain't nobody got that, you know, ain't got renown like that. So I guess we can just go over the story. Yeah, let's just go right into it. And pretty simple, right? Pretty predictable within the first 30 minutes. I'm just like, okay, so it's just gonna be like this, and I can kind of, you know, because guys, I watch anime, right? So I kind of know all the plot lines in existence. So if, yeah, so I can pretty much predict like either this or this gonna happen, or oh, somebody's gonna, you know, yeah, do that. But pretty simple. You're on vacation at an Austrian ski resort to get away from being a lawyer because being a lawyer kind of sucks. And you end up being a monster slayer to complete all 25 dungeons. Yay, yippee. And you know, the whole point of the game is like making friends and stuff. So yeah, you make friends while you're there. And it's kind of like a therapy kind of session, you know, because I'm kind of comparing it a little bit with Velgard. Because when you do those little relaxing things or like take a break, you know, and sometimes, you know, get your stats or your health up. And also when you complete a dungeon too, you get like an extra 5 health or some other stat increases. But yeah. Your stuff goes up pretty much by either relaxing your dungeons. You know, you'll get it up either way. But yeah. So when you relax and stuff, it's like you're talking to yourself. I'm not gonna lie, I skipped through all of that shit. I'm just like, okay, buddy, you know, Velgard just, you know, scarred my mind like a, you know, trauma, right? Even though it's supposed to be a like a therapy type of game, you know, you're the therapist, right? This is my therapy game. Shoot, me giving out advice all that time in Velgard, goddamn. But anyways. No, so you just relax, you just chill, you're just talking to yourself like, wow, this is so great, just chilling, and you're just thinking about what to do next, what you want to do in life and shit. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's pretty cool, but I don't care. So no, I don't care that much, you know. I just skip through it. I'm just like, okay, yeah. I mean, I read the first sentence, I'm just like, oh, okay, and I stop. So anyways. Yeah. So you make friends, and then you also end up being OP because plot, right? Because plot. And once you start playing a game, like after your first dungeon, ooh, random earthquakes start happening. I wonder why. And basically, the magic basically just randomly happened in the world. Like it just randomly came out of nowhere. Oh, I don't know. So yeah, that's basically why we're here. You know, we try to try out, become a monster slayer and stuff like that and just chill. We were really on vacation for 25 days, right? Supposedly. Or I think it was like 2 weeks. I don't know, but you know, whatever the fuck. I don't care. Something with the plot, right? Right, something with the plot. So you meet all these people, and you know, monster slaying kind of brings in a bag, right? So people are, you know, kind of greedy with it. People try to be famous off it, stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of you know, weebs. There's a lot of weebs, unlike nerds, you know, that just come out of nowhere at a freaking Austrian the ski resort, you know, out of all the places, bro. Pretty crazy. But yeah, so but then but the dungeons start acting weird. I wonder why, right? Well, the mayor is an evil piece of shit. Yeah, spoiler alert, right? I mean, guys, this is like a chill game. I don't think anybody cares about spoilers. Basically, the mayor is evil. She pretty much wants to control the magic in the dungeons to get a bag. Essentially, for the bag. She's like, I'm doing this for your own good. Because essentially, like, before the magic randomly popped up, like, I think 3 years ago, yeah, they were basically going down in tourists and money and stuff in the town. So, you know, the mayor, you know, kind of wants to keep the bag going with this little monster thing because, you know, Hinterberg is the best with the best dungeons and all the dungeons and stuff like that. So yeah. And the reason why also is like, if anyone completes all the 25 dungeons, like magic disappears, right? Because it happened before. Like, I think towards the middle of the game or so, like, you just find out like magic appeared before, and like all the dungeons appeared before, and like somebody completed all the dungeons, and like basically magic like disappeared. Oh, I don't know why, but yeah. So if you do that, magic disappears. And they don't want that because they want money. They want money. So Mayor set up a fake dungeon and hid one of the real ones to keep the bag full. So yeah, but we actually discovered that dungeon, you know, like halfway through the game. And the mayor trying to get on your ass. She's trying to be like, hey, you know, I'll give you money if, you know, you don't like finished all the dungeons, basically bribing you or attempting to bribe you, but you're like, no, I gotta finish the dungeons. I want to finish the dungeons. Magic told me to. That's basically, well, I mean, like, she wanted to finish the dungeons just to finish the dungeons, right? Yeah, but one of the main reasons is also like, magic is telling me to finish the dungeons. They want me to finish the dungeons. So that's kind of a weird, like, plot, not like weird plot line, but just like, never really heard of that anymore, but okay. Yeah, so apparently magic is friendly and they want you to defeat the dungeons. Not sure why. They didn't really explain why magic or like the monsters and shit were like that, but okay. Sure. Why not? Part 2 win? But yeah, the mayor, because of her planning and her schemes and stuff, what she's doing, she's basically like creating like, she's trying to control magic, right? She's trying to create her own monsters and shit. So monster goo and tentacles, yes, tentacles, start destroying the town and like just popping out of nowhere randomly and start forming. And some friends, you know, start turning on you because they don't want you to complete the dungeons, because that's where they get their bag. That's where the bag comes from, right? So they don't want you to like, because then magic will be gone forever or whenever it returns, because apparently like hundreds of years ago, I mean, it was here before. So yeah, they start turning on you. But then there's also a couple of people who understand, like, yeah, I mean, like, so many earthquakes, I mean, the town is getting fucking destroyed, like, you know, monsters popping out of anywhere. But you know, but other people, they're like, no, I kind of want to, you know, I want to get the bag, you know, I kind of, you know, yeah. And honestly, yeah, I understand, but like, buddy, there's people dying, so, or people about to die, right? Nobody really died yet or anything, right? Because plot, right? You know? So the town over time is just like showing tentacles and like monster goo coming out of nowhere, like from the lake and shit, to, you know, just the mayor just doing mayor things, you know, trying to keep the people safe. Some friends start turning on you because, you know, they don't want to be unemployed broke boys, because you're OP and you're trying to finish the dungeons. Well, your friend, right, is the black girl, gets mad at you and ignores you, right? She ignores you for like the other half of the game, right? Once you discover like the true magic purpose and all that dungeons and stuff, like the whole shindig, she like, yeah, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. I don't want you to take this away from me. This is all I have. What will I do after this? Like, these guys are unemployed guys. These motherfuckers ain't got no life, bro. They are neats, man. They're neats. So you discover evidence of the mayor eventually making her own monsters, etc. after, you know, a good second. And then eventually, you know, you clear out the 25th dungeon, but magic still exists. I wonder why. Well, because the mayor, that's why. And because of plot, that's why. No, because the mayor is like making your own monsters and shit. So yeah, and once you come out of the 25th dungeon, basically the town is fucked. Yeah, it's completely fucked. And your little magic friend or whatever, you know, tries to warn you. I don't know what the fuck was going on with that. I think he wanted to kiss me. Anyways, I mean, he could have asked at least. I mean, you know, whatever. But anyways, yeah, town is completely fucked. And you gotta save it and defeat the mayor and save the day because you're MC and because of plot. So, Basically, you defeat the mayor. Oh, we gotta talk about the enemies and the bosses and shit. I forgot. But you defeat the mayor. I mean, it's pretty easy. Yeah, same old, same old. Mayor defeated. Everyone admits how wrong they are and how cool you are. Your friend apologizes and says that she was jealous. Yes, we can tell you were jealous. Whatever. At the end, you end up having some magic left in your hand or some shit, like some, I don't know, Naruto Sasuke type shit, because you the MC and you the chosen one, and also probably because they want to make a second game. So, yeah. But also, it kind of makes sense though, because the mayor, like, still had magic, right? Like, and also magic, I mean, if it goes away and, like, comes back, I mean, it's kind of here somewhat all the time. It's not really like superly surprising than if it was here before, right? So yeah. Anyways, you the chosen one and possibly second game. The end. That's basically it. But also let's talk about the bosses and the enemies. The way the bosses are, it's actually it's pretty cool how they make them, right? You got to do like certain puzzles and stuff too to like damage some of them. Because of that, some of them are kind of a little bit easy, right? A little, kind of mid. But I mean, for me, sometimes I'm just like, okay, thank God, because I didn't want this to be like a very, very long dungeon. Sometimes, yeah, the dungeons be, they can be like between 10-15 minutes to like an hour or so, I think. I think the longest I've spent in a dungeon was like an hour. But like a lot of the dungeons are like 30 minutes to 50 minutes. So yeah, it also depends on how smart you are with the puzzles and stuff, because all the dungeons, they're all puzzles. You do some puzzles, then you defeat some enemies, and you do some puzzles, then you defeat some enemies. It's like over and over again. Sometimes it's just like straight up puzzles. Yeah, but you're doing puzzles like majority of the game. I feel like you do more puzzles. I think you do more puzzles than fighting, which is fine, yeah, I mean, it's whatever. But I mean, it's not like a huge difference, right? Like, you still fight a lot, right? So that's the point of dungeons and you having a sword. Like, why else would you have a sword? But anyways, yeah, so the bosses are pretty cool. Yeah, I don't really have any qualms. The enemies and stuff, I mean, they're pretty easy, and we'll get to that in a second, alright? Like, the game is overall pretty easy. I did play it on, the intended game mode, which is normal. So yeah, they're pretty easy. There is New Game Plus also with the game, so that's pretty cool, if you enjoyed the combat and stuff. But again, the combat's pretty simple. There's nothing innovative about it, right? So I really have no reason to go back to the game, right? Dragon's Dogma, I'm thinking, maybe I want to play it like as a magic archer, because I didn't get to do it my first playthrough. But so that's just one of the reasons why I would probably go back to the game, for the combat and stuff, maybe story. But here, story pretty simple. I mean, it's nothing crazy. I mean, I expected this with this type of game, right? So I mean, I'm not like taking off points of it because of it, just for that, like, mainly. It's not like a huge deal breaker at all, so it was expected. But anyways, yeah, so the enemies are they're easy. They're pretty easy. The game's pretty easy. Was there any lag or anything? Not really. We'll get into like weird glitches and like movement in a second, but like in terms of lag, I think my game shut down like once before, but like the saving and stuff is pretty frequent. Even in the dungeons and stuff, like you can't save in a dungeon. I forgot to say this. You can't save in a dungeon. You can only save at like the checkpoints in the dungeon, if the dungeon does have checkpoints, like if it's that long. But yeah, usually there's either at least one checkpoint or like a couple in a dungeon, depends how long it is. So yeah, you can do a manual save there, or it just automatically saves for you. But even in a game, I think you can turn off deaths, or you can keep them on. I kept my deaths on, but like even when you die, you just go back to like where you died at, essentially. Yeah, it just saves pretty frequently, so you don't really have to save the game at all, to be fair. So that's fun. I mean, it's like whatever. It's a chill game, guys. I don't really care, right? I don't really care. I died to a lot of stupid things, so we'll get to that right now, or like in a couple seconds. But yeah, in terms of lag and stuff, I mean, I really just had that DC that one time. I just went back pretty much to the same spot. It was really no biggie. It just shut the entire game off, essentially. I just had to go back into the game or like load it back up. Other things. So here's the thing. the jumping, there's no jumping in the game. You can't like jump by yourself. You have to be like next to a ledge, you know, jumping like that. But so when that happens, a lot of the time, like when you jump, it's like overboard. It jumps way too much. And even when I don't want to jump, it just makes me jump. That was very annoying. Like that's how I died like a lot of times. Like most of my deaths are just because the jump literally like just kept going. It didn't stop. Besides the jumping, I already mentioned the minecart. I fucking hate the minecart. Way too damn vast. I just, And I did get used to the hoverboard. Yeah. We already talked about this. So let's talk about boredom in the game, right? No, not because of like the plot and stuff and like the relaxing. No. Just the game overall is just like kind of, you get to a point, a certain point, it's just like, it gets boring at times, right? It definitely started to get boring at times after like hour number 10 or 12 or so, right? It's more so, it's because of the game design, really, too, right? So, like, you could max out, so you get gear in the shop, right? For your first couple levels. And after that, when you start getting the beefy dungeons, they re-equip the shop with, like, stronger armor. And then once you do all those dungeons, like, you get all the armor and stuff, then they re-equip it again. I think they re-equip the shop, or like refresh the shop like 3 times in total for stronger armor once you get down the game a lot, the stronger dungeons. But here's the thing, buying stuff in the game is pretty easy. So like my main thing with the game, like, ooh, I want to get enough to do this dungeon, get enough for this sword or something. I get it pretty damn easily. You also get like loot in like the dungeons and stuff. You don't really have to buy, honestly. You don't really have to buy anything because the game is just so, it's pretty dang easy, right? There's really no because once I buy a sword in the shop and then I go to the dungeon, 5 minutes later, and I get a fucking sword that's like even stronger. So it's just like, okay, buddy. But there's also like a lot of times where it's just like better to, buy stuff in the shop. But again, like you just get it, like you get that stuff pretty easily, and you get a lot of money, pretty easily. At least you accumulate armor like pretty easily. So that's my main thing. That was one of my main drives in the game, like getting armor and stuff, like stronger, like in leveling up, because I like that in RPGs. That's one of my main things where I like RPGs. If they don't do it right, then I don't like the game, right? Then I don't like the game and I can't stay in the game. That's the same thing that happened with Diablo. They kind of fucked it up. I just couldn't stay in there for too long. I played the campaign, then I stopped, right? Campaign was a little fun, but it's just like, level scaling. I don't like that level scaling shit. Absolutely horrendous. No. Same thing with Assassin's Creed Valhalla and kind of a little bit in Odyssey, so I don't really like that shit. But anyways, I mean, if the game is fun though, like, then it'll keep me in the game. But if that's like the main feature keeping me in, I'm just gonna stop. So yeah, that's the thing with the armor. Like the armor, it's just, everything's just easy to come across, and then the enemies are easy to kill, right? I mean, and the combat is pretty simple. I mean, there's nothing revolutionary. But yeah, so that's the main reason why at times, like, honestly, towards the end of the game, like maybe halfway through, I was like, all right, let's finish up this game, buddy. Yeah, I'm pretty much, yeah, it's just the same thing over and over again. It's not too bad, right? I mean, I still enjoyed my time in the game, and like, just even if I knew like what was gonna happen in the story, I still kind of enjoyed like playing the game. Like I enjoyed my time like figuring out, ooh, what's gonna happen next, like type shit. So yeah, that wasn't too bad. So yeah, but yeah, nothing is truly challenging in the game, honestly. Like it's pretty easy, especially when you have a crap ton of armor. And then also you can, like, with the relaxing spots that I was talking about, right? When you do it in the morning, if you have to either relax or like do a dungeon. If you relax, you get your stats up also. But it's also kind of, you can't just like keep repeatedly doing it, right? Because it's only set for like one at a time. Like you go to this spot and then okay, you can't go there again, so you have to go to another spot because it just, you can't do it again, right, at that same spot. So it's limited. It's also limited to areas too. Like once you do all those relaxing spots in that area, you just gotta wait until you unlock the next big area in the game. to like get more relaxing spots and stuff to get your stats up. So you can just pretty much farm that though. Honestly, they got like a good amount and get all your stats up and then just go in the desert. Yeah. So, but there is also, again, there's New Game Plus. You know, so if you finish, you got to finish the game first. But like, you know, a lot of people are just gonna play the game once and then like just hop off like me. You know, so. You kids are like, oh, this will be like, oh, but there's New Game Plus. You could have played it harder. No, but I mean, it's just like, it's super like easy overall. That's kind of one of the downfalls of me ranking the game, where I'm gonna rank it at, or like score it at, you know. So, but I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, it is, but like, again, I expected a chill game. This was a chill game, so it's really nothing too crazy. Anyways, I think I talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. Or at least the main things, right? The story, the gameplay, the combat, the enemies, and the lag. Well, there's no lag, but you know. Yeah, so that's it. I give it, and here's the thing. This is the first time I'm like rating an indie game, and I think it's like their first game too, you know. So this is, yeah. I give it like a 7.5 maybe. I give it a 7 just because of the boredom. If you know, I wasn't really bored and they like kind of leveled out the gameplay a little bit with the enemies not being too easy, right? And then the dungeons you know, being too easy, and then also like the armor not being like super easy to get. And like once you're maxed out, you just gotta wait for the next set of armor to come in, right? If it wasn't for that, I'd probably give it like a little bit of higher score, maybe 7.5 or 8. But yeah, I'm leaning on the 7 right now, right? Because story is simple, combat is simple, but then there's also boredom in the game, right? These two, if these were the only like things or issues, and then like, you know, also the little jumping thing, but I mean, it's not really, it's whatever. If those two were the only issues, I would and also the motion sickness is pretty fucking annoying, but I would have still gave it like an 8, but because of the boredom and stuff that I experienced, like not even really halfway through, but like, you know, just because of the things and stuff you do in the game, like the content, it's still an indie game though, right? So I'm just like, I don't really know how I'm gonna score it. Like maybe it should be a little bit higher, maybe it should be a little less, right? Because these guys' first time you know, making this game, I think, and also indie game, right? Small studio, pretty chill game. It's like a 25-hour max game, you know, nothing crazy. So, but I think I'll still give it like a 7. Yeah, like a 7. It could be, honestly, realistically, this game could be like between a 6 and an 8.5, right? You know, for indie games. Yeah, but again, I don't play indie games like that, but I'm being chill on it because it's an indie game. So yeah, I would say between a 7 and 8 realistically. Like I be going back and forth with like my final total, but I'm just gonna say 7. It could be an 8, but yeah, just the other issues. So that's it. That's my time with the game. Do I recommend it? Yeah. I mean, if you don't have motion sickness, or like, no, normal people, even without motion sickness, were just getting it. And honestly, I would I classify myself as normally not getting motion sickness? This is the first time a game has ever gave me motion sickness like that badly. So, and there's a lot of reviews that is like, yeah, motion sickness bad. It was so bad they had to like make a feature for it. So. Yeah, pretty crazy, but yeah, I would recommend it if you want a chill indie game to play, right, with a chill little story, chill little combat, right? Don't expect anything crazy from it. Yeah, I would recommend it if you want to play it. Yeah, go right ahead, shoot. But that's it. That's my review. That's how I feel about the game. Pretty good game, I would say. Just, you know, I would say if you play it, probably play it on a higher difficulty so you don't get superly bored. New Game Plus, I think probably because it having New Game Plus, they probably made it a little bit too easy with the combat and the stuff, you know. But yeah, I mean, there are times that I did like die in combat and stuff, you know, right? But I mean, and it's easy overall. Like I played Elden Ring and shit, so you know, Black Myth Wukong. So yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty, especially if you like keep like die, if you die and then like you're just right back in the same spot. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, that mean I'd pick it up. I'm not sure how much did it cost actually. Can I like search up the cost real quick for the game? Cause I played it on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, yeah, definitely like if you want a chill game, yeah, play it for a little bit. Dungeons of Hinterberg. Cost maybe it's like $30. Yeah, it is $30. It's $30 on Steam. $30 on Steam and $30 on Xbox. But if you have the Game Pass, you know, you might as well just play it on a Game Pass. You know, it'll practically. I mean, not it won't be nothing, but like you know, it's a quick little game to like just play and like get out the way, see if you like it or not. And if you do, I mean, possibly play New Game Plus. But yeah, $30. That's not bad. That's really good. Especially for you know, for the game that it is. So yeah, I recommend it. I would say yeah, play it, bro. See how you like it. But that's it. I'll see you guys later in the next review. The next review will probably be Shadow the Erdtree, which I forgot to review. I did like a tier list, but I forgot to review it. So we'll see when I next review it. Well, whenever I post it. So bye.
Shot at a black man and took his shoes. Customized my AR like a Black Ops 2. Just scammed a white kid out of some Gorilla Glue. I don't wanna fuck this bitch, she smell like poo poo.